Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, so just to introduce everyone that's here, my name is Sally Sue, and unfortunately I'm not an engineer, so I apologize. I'm sure that you guys probably wanted an engineer here, but I think I'm better suited to convey and describe this product for you. And here is my managing director for our company, Mr. Cho Kyu-hyun.
Nice to meet you.
And then over
You can
here,
call me Q.
Yeah.
Simple way.
And here is a new recruit that we brought on for the journey here and for the experience.
Okay.
All right. So I heard from Sam that we have an hour, so I'll try to make it
Yes.
as brief as possible. All right. So thank you very much for having us here today. And a lot of the stuff when I was preparing this presentation, we have gone through most of the points and details with a fine-tooth comb for the past, I don't know, 6 to 8 months. And I truly appreciate all your questions, and I hope that responses were comprehensive, and I understand that some of the open points were not fully closed, and maybe you're unsatisfied with the answers, and hopefully we can clear up those points for you today. Right, so just to briefly describe what I'll be covering. So we'll go for a brief company introduction and our manufacturing plant, which was one of the criteria for our document submission. We wanted to see how much of the product and where the product is made. And for crash cushions, I thought the best way to convey and describe our product is to kind of compare and contrast it with the products that you guys are familiar here in Qatar. And then from there on, I will describe our features and our advantages of our product, and maybe just really briefly touch on the crash testing matrix, the difference between EN 1317 and CHRP 350, which you guys are more familiar with. But I did go through your, I'm not sure, is the 2015 version 2 of the ASHGAL approved products, is that the latest one? No?
You mean the vendor list?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's basically we are doing the. We have changed the whole vendor list, And maybe you are referring to the previous one,
Oh,
No.
I apologize. That was the only.
So we will share you the link, if
Alright,
this
so-
is gone.
All right. Sorry,
It's
so
outdated, yeah.
my presentation might be outdated then. But I saw that you guys have no bias with the different standards. A lot of your guardrails and other products are indeed EN 1317, so that was a real plus for us, because some markets, they designate one or the other. And we'll just go briefly over crash testing and as well as maintenance. And this sometimes I don't like to go through at all, because a lot of countries, for example in Korea or many countries in Europe, the common practice is crash cushions once hit, remove the whole system and install a new one. But our experience, for example, in the Malaysian market is that the product does have to be assessed, and then the spare parts are ordered and then refurbished. So actually maintenance is a really good one for our product. So, and then briefly touching on experience. So I believe that the integrity of the product, in order to enhance the integrity of the product, you'll have to briefly know about our company, our experience. So Shinsen Control was established in 1967, so 76, sorry. We're a 43-year-old company, and with that said, we have many years of experience working with steel fabrication. This is a bit outdated, but our annual revenue is usually consistent to between 37 to 40 million. And actually 2019 is a really big year for us in terms of our noise barrier division, which I'll touch upon later. We have approximately 80 people, employees at our factory, but if you ever do get the chance to visit, you will see that a lot of our production processes are automated, which kind of relieves the amount of employees we need. Our factory is located in Injumyeon, Asan-shi. So this is actually a reclaimed reclaimed land, and it's an industrial complex, and it's situated between two very important ports, Incheon Port and I believe Pyeongtaek Port. And for our overseas exports, we utilize Busan Port, which is the largest port in South Korea. So for our company divisions, these two would be our main company divisions. We have road safety and temporary construction. Right now, road safety would have to probably dominate this sector. So we're looking at maybe a 70 to a 30 split. We do steel highway guardrails, now crash cushions as of 2015. And these products, the acoustic barriers, are our main item at the moment. For temporary construction, we have I'm not sure if you're familiar with scaffolding, but we have the 8-hole ring lock system. We currently have 2 standards. We do the Korean standard as well as the British standard. Also in-house, we have a precision steel processing division where we do laser processing and various types of steel fabrication, whether it's our NCT machines or bending, punching, you name it. So we can do all of those in-house. Another kind of recent division that has kind of been growing is our renewable energy. And since we have so much experience making guardrails and steel posts, it was only a matter of time that we started dabbling with steel structures for PV modules. And what is strategic about our company is because it's in South Korea and we have one of the largest steel manufacturers, POSCO, they have a proprietary anti-corrosion steel, which is very, very sought out when you're doing a solar farm next to the ocean. So currently we are involved in a 50 megawatt project in Karachi, which is situated on 200 acres of private land. Really? Yes. It's called the GARO project, GHARO, and it's a private project.
GARO, yeah?
Yeah, it's the second project that this private person is doing.
Okay.
And our products have to leave next month. So very interesting. So because of POSCO's proprietary anti-corrosion steel, they're the only manufacturer in the world that offers a 35-year warranty against corrosion. So that's that. And then one of our, it actually used to be a very large division, was our coil center division. So basically when a client buys a certain width coil from a steel manufacturer, we will slit it to size. And we used to have like Samsung and LG as our clients where we can slit for them. But because of the competitiveness of getting it done in China, they had offered our boss or our company if we would like to relocate and continue our services from there. But unfortunately, we couldn't. So, but however, we still do utilize our steel coil division. And cable trays, this is also a very interesting project, very unique. One of my MD's closest colleagues, he's kind of the head of Hyundai Motors in Korea, and basically when the car fabrication happens and there is a I don't know, something with the wiring done in the robotic system, Hyundai Motors loses like millions of dollars when they stop production. So they wanted a cable tray system that doesn't have any fasteners or bolts or anything. So we designed a specialty custom cable tray product for them, and then now it's used in the Kia and Hyundai Motors around the globe. So I got to travel to Bangalore in Putraparthi. Anyways, so to check the products there. All right, so those are our divisions. Here is our manufacturing plant in Asan, and our company is split up into 3 major production buildings. Our capacity annually is 70,000 tons, and our property is 165 square feet. And our major 99% of our products are made from Korean steel, and of course we have POSCO, Hyundai, and Dongguk as our major suppliers for steel. So here is just a little bit more detailed into these buildings. We have it arranged where we have our building A, which houses the coil slitting center. We have the NCT presses and laser cutting, and this area is designated for crash cushion assembly. And then for building B, we have guardrail forming machines, so they're super long, and we have maybe four guardrail roll forming. We are the only Korean manufacturer of ASHTO M180 highway beams, and because of that, we have been able to supply to various highway projects in Oman. Our building C is designated for welding. So here is a document I had submitted. So we have our crash cushion here with the various components, and each component is listed, and you will see where you can find it being manufactured. So for example, we have building A, we have the storage and the assembly, where they're all packaged for export. Building B, we have our roll forming. Building C, we have all the middle supports, backstops, everything being welded. And building C, it's the same thing. And as you can see from our divisions, we do everything in-house, everything aside from hot dip galvanizing and powder coating. And if there weren't regulations on the industrial property, we would probably do hot dip galvanizing as well, but we're not allowed.
Any other factory or the galvanization?
Actually, as of the 2 years now, we have an additional factory in Johor Bahru in Malaysia, but at the moment that is only for highway guardrails. And actually this year, I'm not sure if you're aware, on Borneo Island there's a Pan-Borneo highway.
But these crash cushions, our requirement is the galvanization.
Oh yes, that's the only thing that we outsource. But all components are hot dip galvanized with 550 grams per meter square for each spot. And actually, our galvanizing partners, or galvanizing in general in Korea, first of all, zinc is, when I compare to our partners in Italy or other places, it's not a lot cheaper, but it is slightly cheaper. And there's a tendency where our galvanizers like to put a lot extra than other places. And that was one of our advantages when we were sending our ASHTO M180W beams to Australia, where our distributor there was the first company in Australia to give a 25-year warranty on their beams, just because of our excellent hot dip galvanizing. All right. So now for the main topic, crash cushions. First of all, we will discuss the two main purposes and how our product performs these two essential purposes that a crash cushion should perform, which is redirecting the vehicle to its original path and to absorb the impact energy and decelerate the vehicle. And as I mentioned, I use this outdated list, I apologize, and I kind of focused the presentation around the track, the React 350, and the Tau 2. And what's interesting is, as a crash cushion manufacturer, as of 2014, this market, this market is super niche. There are less than 10 global manufacturers in the world. In Korea, we have around 6 crash cushion manufacturers, but none of them export. They only test according to the Korean standards. So everyone knows each other in this market. So for example, for energy absorption for the Tau, Lindsay's Tau, I'm very close buddies with Steve Johnson, who's the head of sales in Asia. For Trinity, which is like the mega tycoon in road facility products in America, we're actually involved in manufacturing OEM 3 products that Trinity now uses, and this is through the means of being in contact with the people that actually design products for Trinity. And because of Trump's new agreement with the extra tariffs for Chinese steel, they were looking for another another manufacturer, and Trinity was more than happy to have us as their manufacturer. So I think that gives us a lot of credit if Trinity is willing to have us manufacture their products. Right, so we have these 3 products that I'll be going through. And we actually, Sam took us around yesterday and we got to see all the products, the installations. See, that is us right there. And it was really hot. So I won't go in depth of these products because you guys are probably more experts than me. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to just kind of give you a comparison of these 3 products in our product. And the major and only difference is our energy absorbing mechanism. So as you can see, these 3 systems utilize deformation of a cartridge or a cylinder. This one, the track, utilizes the bolt shearing, which this is pretty awesome. It's 100% steel, like our product, so very high recyclability. And yeah, so that's pretty much the only difference. All 4 of these products have a redirective function, whether it's a tri-beam, a double overlapping W-beam, or using a wire rope system. Ours uses a tri-beam as well. So there's really not too much of a difference, and it's kind of impossible for a crash cushion to really deviate anyways. They all have the same kind of structure and an essential component that will absorb the energy. So any questions here? No? All right, so I'm gonna just go now a little bit more in depth with our product. Here you have the components. Everything is 100% steel, and for the major components, they are all hot dip galvanized. For the front panel and the top covers, they are actually pre-galvanized steel rather than hot dip galvanized. For our redirective component, we use our tri-beam, which is a 3-way guardrail that we use as just a highway guardrail in Korea. And depending on the post spacing or the thickness of the guardrail, we have various containment levels. And I just wanted to put this out here because the containment levels, we have SB1 to SB7, which kind of relates to the NCHRP 350, the test level 1 to 6. So it's very similar. You have slightly deviations in the vehicle weight and then deviations in the speed. So we have slightly lighter vehicles but higher speeds. And the angles are slightly different. And of course our decelerating function, the energy absorbing function, is our energy absorbing pipe. And for this function to work, basically for an offset or a 15-degree or a 0-degree angle impact, it will telescope, and the pipe is connected to a bursting bush on the back stop, and it will just slide in and then coil at the back. So I know it's terrible to say, but if there's a car accident, that's the best way to see the performance of our system. And sorry, I didn't mention, in 2014, we got our certificate of constancy of performance for our European, so our EN 1317 crash cushion. But right after we got that certificate, we went straight ahead and used our experience